Kenner French is the author of ModernMillions.ai, and today we're pulling back the curtain on how AI changes value, decision making, and leverage. It isn't a tech tutorial, it's more of a conversation about the mindset and systems that will separate the people that merely use AI from the people who build an advantage with it. Hey, I am Elaine Mingus, and I am sitting here with Kenner French from Vast Solutions, and we are going to talk a little bit about what he does in the FinTech atmosphere. So, introduce yourself, Kenner. I'd love to hear more about you.
I'm the guy that everyone likes because I lower taxes for entrepreneurs, mainly using artificial intelligence. By the way, we've been doing artificial intelligence for many years, but it might be boring to hear, well, talking about taxes, let's say at a cocktail party, but I do it in a cool way because we're talking about artificial intelligence, which is the cool thing. Yeah, my name is Kenner French. I'm with a company called vastsolutionsgroup.com. I've written a book. Oh, let me talk about the book real quick. ModernMillions.ai, make millions, save millions, protect millions, all using artificial intelligence. Been luckily became Amazon's number one bestseller in the entrepreneurial space. So I like to say I'm a famous author, but it started with the company in 2006. It was started back in 1969 by a guy named Gary Coons, who great guy. He blew up the company, did a great job, and I took over the company and made it a little bit more, techie. And with my journal background, and we obviously grew quite a bit. I was also a writer for Forbes.com, small business contributor. And then I also do some writing for the AI Journal and managing the company in a way that, we're every state basically, and we're just trying to help as many entrepreneurs as we can to lower taxes to make sure they're not overpaying their taxes. And I live on Bainbridge Island, Washington with my wife and son. And life's pretty good. I'm pretty darn happy.
Yeah. And so I'm going to add two things to that are super interesting. Number one, you can get a summary of the book that he just showed you on his website. You can download a little summary and it'll give you a little taste of what he does. So definitely check that out. And I also saw that you are also a DJ. So I want to just tell me a little bit. I know that this is not what that segment is about, but I'm going to pull it out of you because I was thinking about it the other day going, I think we're going to have to make a trip.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, by the way, yeah, you can get the summary or the book at modernmillions.ai or Amazon, either one. But yeah, I've taken up DJing. My wife got me one of those DJ controller boards, which is up there. And she always gets me these funny gifts like a bass or a guitar, drum kit, etc. She knows I'm never gonna do anything with it. And here being crazy, I started playing around with it, even at my advanced age. And now, man, it's like I started telling some people, I started getting some gigs, believe it or not. And now it's a big deal. Now it's a really big deal. People are actually, believe it or not, ask me to come play some really big gigs. And I'm loving it. I'm doing it, give the money to charity. It's a hobby, but I love, all types of music. I'm kind of not a musician, but I like to pretend I'm a musician. And it's been a great little hobby that is turning into a little bit more than a hobby, but hey, I'm doing some good. I'm playing with music that I love. My son actually loves that I'm doing it. My wife thinks I'm crazy that I'm doing it. I'm giving money to charity, so it's all good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and every good entrepreneur, there's got to be a little touch of crazy in there. Do you have like a persona? Do you like put on a leather jacket and like shades, or do you just go like in your business wear?
You got to see it to believe it. It's DJ Wannabe. Actually, you can see my stuff at djwannabe.com. DJ Wannabe, no E in the end, big B. Yeah, I do have a persona. I love to dance. You know what I mean? Big time like to dance. So when I'm playing the music, I almost pretend, no, I do pretend that it's just me. So I'm dancing. I have my own little DJ booth. I'm dancing, playing the music. I like EDM. And by the way, I also like Dave Matthews Band, but he doesn't fit within,
Obviously, yes.
yeah, the DJ world. So I dance. I'm pretending I'm in my own world. I kind of vibe off the audience a little bit, but for more than anything, it's just one good time. You got to see it to believe it. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna book a trip up there and surprise you one day on one of these gigs. I do love a good EDM or some EDM. So,
Oh, do you?
but
Oh,
okay,
nice.
let's return back to Vast Solutions.
All
So
right, all right.
you talked about the beginning of how you got involved and that you kind of overtook this thing. What year? You said 2005,
Six,
6? Is that what you said?
2006. Yep, yep.
Okay. And so I know AI has really kind of taken off in the last probably especially since 2020, I think. But it's where the regular public is kind of using it. Tell me
Mhm.
about how you started, how like what really drew you to AI in the fintech space?
Yeah. So years ago, I remember watching something, I think it was 60 Minutes, and they were talking about artificial intelligence, how it's a predictive thing. It's a predictive uh, digit that can turn into more than predictive digits. Meaning, let's just say I want to put in a prompt saying something, well, whatever it is. All AI is it just projects what the next word is, what the next phrase is, what the next paragraph is in its most simple form, right? And I knew that down the road that was going to be able to help finance. I knew it can help tax, I knew it could help finance. So, as early as 2010, actually soon after, New Year's Eve, I remember saying, "I wanna be involved in the fintech space," 'cause specifically with AI, because I knew it was gonna help lower tax liability for business owners, and it was gonna increase net worth. I remember telling people that, people laughed at me. I ended up doing a presentation, the Four Seasons, I remember in Las Vegas, soon thereafter, it was May 2010, and talking about artificial intelligence, how it's gonna help finance. Not very many people came because it was AI and tax and finance, right? But at the same time, I knew I was onto something. We transcribed, the presentation. It was, I think, 2-day presentation about, again, AI, tax, and finance, and out of it is what grew the book, by the way. And I know the book just came out recently, but it was percolating under my in my brain, I should say, for a long time. And then what basically happened was I cleaned up the book, which a lot of the stuff that was true back then is true now with respect to finance. Obviously, it's come along a long way. But what I would say is what we the chief thinking behind it is if you could lower tax liability as a human and make mistakes, let's say you're making a mistake 40% of the time, whatever it is, right? Well, at the same time, if you're using AI and you're going to make mistakes, because everyone says AI makes mistakes, LLMs make mistakes, ChatGPT makes mistakes, only 14% of the time. Well, why wouldn't I shy towards the 14% of the time making mistakes versus the human who's making mistakes 40%? And if you have a human who's helping to mitigate or lower the or lower the mistakes by, hopefully a marginal, let's say it's 10%. On the 14%, you're still gonna be better off than using a human. So I believe in using technology to lower tax liability, that specifically being artificial intelligence to lower the tax liability, because the business owner will be happier because they're paying less in taxes. And that's really the name of the game. I think so many business owners way overpay their taxes because there's so many mistakes made, generally speaking, by tax providers who are probably doing their best, trying to do their best, but at the same time, there's only so many hours in the day that they could better themselves to help to manage the situation of lowering someone's tax liability when computers are working 24 hours a day. So that's kind of the net
I agree.
result. Now, what there's one more thing I'm going to throw in there. Now, if you're only as good as the model you're working with. Everyone nowadays can lower taxes if they really, really, really get specific in teaching themselves to do that. So we at our company at ValSolutionsGroup.com have figured out ways to lower tax liability based on the fact that we started so many years ago. Again, May 2010, we had our own model, 2018 called Einstein. So we figured out pretty early on how to lower their tax liability using technology. So it's not only, having a model that lowers tax liability. Maybe you could do that with ChatGPT, but ours is pretty sophisticated because it's been around so long. We have so much content, so much information in our knowledge base to lower the tax liability.
Yeah, no, and I think that's key is that you are continually expanding your knowledge base specifically in this area. ChatGPT has this, kind of more vast, vast solution for
Oh, there we go.
every
Yeah.
single thing, whereas you are having it in a very small, myopic way, and you can really adjust in your knowledge base what your AI is sending back. And so I think that's really, really amazing. And I know that you are also now kind of continuing the Vast Solutions product, but then also kind of expanding what y'all are doing as an entire group. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, totally. 100% right. Because, we do our moniker is tax, finance, and artificial intelligence for entrepreneurs. But now what we're doing is, and we've been pretty media shy, we've been pretty quiet, but now what we're doing is we're kind of turning into a media company, meaning we want more people in the funnel, but also we want to be able to help potentially lower our costs. So meaning the information that's out there that we're doing for free might be able to get to some other people that we wouldn't normally be able to help. So if we could, do some social media snippets out there that's going to help someone because of a strategy where we talk about, hey, that's great, and maybe that person wouldn't be able to use us because we're expensive, to be more than blunt. Well, not every entrepreneur can use us, right? There might be some struggling entrepreneurs out there that can't use this. But by being out there, having more social media presence, providing some added value concepts that at no cost to people who are consuming our content, who knows? Maybe we'll be able to help some people out there. But on top of that, yeah, we're getting out there in the media. I believe, especially more so now than ever with the advent of AI, it's really linear blowing up, that there's a real need for human connection more so. So by us being kind of a media company, not kind of, but us being a media company, we're going to get out there and people are going to see, touch, and feel us more so than they would have otherwise without us being a media company and kind of behind the curtain like we've been so for so many years.
Yeah, and I think AI is bringing out so many people's ability to do other jobs, but they're still going to feel that kind of like, "Ooh, we don't wanna mess with the IRS," feeling like, I still want some handholding in that space of finances and filing taxes and everything like that, and so they still are going to be looking for people to do it for them, or at least show them very, very specific ways to do it so that they don't make a mistake. Because I mean, I don't know about you, but the rest of America, we're like, we don't know exactly what we're doing and what we're adding up, and if we get in trouble, we won't even know we did something wrong, but the IRS is gonna come after us anyhow. And so, I love that you're giving that free advice to people that maybe wouldn't normally be able to afford it. And I think AI also is, with the way that things are going, you're talking about the person making mistakes, is they're partly increasing in mistakes, or doctors increase it because the way that the amount of people and the time that they have, they're constantly having to go to the next job and go to the next job. And so there's that,
Mhm.
even that higher likelihood of them making mistakes. And so using AI, or even having them use AI, will reduce that and even create that quicker turnaround that I think that, I mean, a lot of industries are needing, just because they're just, the amount of people that they're needing to serve is so much more.
You're 100% right. People, and there's a whole bunch of things that we can unwrap there. I think people are afraid of, one, the IRS. You're right. By the way, I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the percent? Let's say you own an S corp. You don't have to tell me your personal situation, but let's just say you own an S corp. What do you think is the potential that you're going to get audited? And by the way, I'm not saying do anything illegal.
Yeah.
Don't do anything illegal. By the way, I'm just wondering,
No,
just
no, no.
in general.
No one is
Yeah.
trying to do things illegal here, but yeah, I mean, you make mistakes. You're like, this is a weird question. I don't even know how to answer this.
Oh,
Um, I'm assuming it's fairly low from what I've been, have seen. But
oh,
you better believe that I am going to be paying for that, the turbo taxes, like, uh, audit assistance, or like using the
what?
the Autobot on TurboTax, because I'm like, I have no clue. And I'm so thankful that AI is making it easier to ask those questions
Yeah.
within certain programs. But uh, I'm hoping it's pretty low, because I'm sure I've made mistakes unknowingly. But we're just trying our best here.
Yeah.
So
So
hopefully it's low.
what would you say if I said, based on current data, it was 20%? What would you say?
Well, then I better be a little bit more careful.
Well, how about this? What if I were to say 10%?
I mean, I'm feeling a little bit better about my tax return.
Yeah. What if I were to say less than 1%?
I would feel very confident to push that
Yeah.
submit button higher.
And I'm not saying do anything wrong. I'm totally not saying that. I mean, if you're doing something wrong, you should get in trouble, but it's less than 1% on an S corp. So think about that. And by the way, most people are trying to do it right. They're just trying to pay their fair share. They're not trying to overpay. There's a
Yeah.
very small chance you're going to get audited. And that's some, but again, I need to make sure that everyone knows that I'm not saying do anything that's going to push the envelope. I'm just saying there's not as big of a fear of the IRS as people think. I think of the IRS as the police, which I think is good. The police, I think, is a service aid. RS is a service agency, whatever, is a service agency. It's supposed to help us. And when people are doing bad, they deserve to get in trouble. But if they're not doing bad, I also believe in uh, doing the right thing at the right time, by the way. But what I would say is if someone's doing something wrong, the police should be there. But if people need help, the police should be there. And at the
Yeah.
same time, if um, due process is required for them to do the right thing, the IRS, the analogy would be the IRS is doing an audit, which they should, but it's a lot less of a commonality than people think.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Also,
that's good to know. Yeah. And I'm hoping
yeah,
that, AI, is being used, and I'm sure it is, and, to figure out, like, I'm sure there's algorithms that can say, like, no, this person is probably just making a mistake versus this person is literally trying to pull the wool over your eyes here. And be able to figure out that. So the people that are maybe not the people that are getting audited and we're spending all that taxpayer money on them, are the ones that are the bad guys that need to be rooted out. So hopefully that's happening.
no, you're right. There's
Hopefully.
algorithms, and we think we devised the first, where we could figure out what your potential if you did one thing over another thing, what your potential rate of audit was. That's what our Einstein did because we wanted to know, well, okay, if you do this act, you have 70 I'm making this up, 70% chance of an audit. If you do this, it's 20%. We want to know. And I'm not again, I'm gonna it's very important for me to state. It's not like we're suggesting people to do illegal things or whatever. We just want to know what the percentage is of risk when you're being audited or for an act to be audited. So, and that's important. And also what I would say is AI is going to make mistakes, as I mentioned. 14% of the time is called a sigma rate. There's going to be mistakes. But at the same time, if it can help someone get to whatever the end goal is, doing their taxes and not overpaying their taxes, it's worked out. Even if it costs, let's just say $1,000 more, but if someone saves whatever, $20,000 because they have artificial intelligence, they'll probably be happy that they paid that
Oh,
extra $1,000 as an example.
absolutely, absolutely. I have a budgeting app, kind of on the financial thing. I have a budgeting app. It's $15 a month, and I'm like, you don't cancel the $15 a month because I know that when I budget, I somewhere saved that $15, if not more, just by
Yeah.
using the budgeting app. So, I mean, it. No one wants to spend money, but it needs to be done in order to protect your assets. So, for sure.
Totally, totally. And yeah, it's pretty cool you have an app. Most people don't have an app. By the way, we have a free bookkeeping app called Vast Bookie, VASTBOOKKE.ai, where it's a free bookkeeping app. You don't need to spend whatever it is, $30 at on Quicken or QuickBooks. Sometimes you don't even need a bookkeeper because it's a free app. Go check it out at vastbookie.ai. And then who knows, maybe it can save you money in that regard. It can save you on budgeting, on bookkeeping if you're a small business owner. It's I think it's a pretty cool app. We used to use it back in the day, kind of behind the curtain, but now so many people have asked us, "Hey, can you give us access to your bookkeeping software?" So now everyone could use it. It's part of this thing called I signed this MIT open source pledge where people have access to some of our technology and they can use it however they want. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so tell me something about your background that
Mm,
you would really like
mm.
the listener, the watcher to know.
You mean besides the DJ thing? My wife, I've been with my wife for many a year. Her name's Kristen French. We got married right out of college. And we've been together through crazy, crazy times of living when we were dirt poor. I remember getting a mattress basically out of the garbage in Boston. It had a package on. It was unbelievable. Anyway, really poor in college, or actually that was in grad school all the way to, the fun times you live in San Francisco and grew to get to know each other even better. And then having, Braden, our son, he's a great little kid, never know what he's going to do, how those teenagers are. I would like to say I'm a family man. That's kind of the things that I probably don't talk about enough. I don't talk about my background enough, but I mean, she's my rock. She's my best friend. She'll love that she sees this, by the way, or hears this. That's what I would say that people might not know about that I wanted to get out. I'm married to a cool chick.
That's awesome. That's awesome. My husband is also my knight in shining armor, and I'm his
Yeah.
damsel in distress on the regular.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But you know, how as a dad, and I mean, I love that you're and family is super important, and which just goes to show like how much more like these things with finances are need to be talked about because you're not just not just about you, it's about your entire family. How as a
Mhm.
dad are you preparing your son? um, for the next wave of money and things that are happening, so
Mm.
that he can be ready.
Yeah, good point. I'm trying to force him to learn artificial intelligence. I know it sounds crazy that some dad would, try to really force AI down their kid's throat, but I'm trying to prepare him because I think all people need to know one, the basics and be at least conversational, and then know the basics of AI, and then be able to deploy it in such a way that it will help you not only with your finances but with your daily life. I think without being an AI first person, you're gonna be at jeopardy. So I've been kinda slamming that down his throat because I really think if people are using AI in such a way, it'll be better off for them down the road. Now, people are, potentially saying that, AI is gonna take a bunch of jobs, which it probably will, by the way. But at the same time, if you're armed as an entrepreneur or as a W-2 or whatever the case is with AI, you're gonna be that much better. So that's what I would say. That's how I'm trying to prepare him to the next stage in life.
Yeah. Well, and to speak on the fact that, when I don't know what it was, books, magazines, printing press, like all anytime new technology comes out, they always like, oh, it's going to take everybody's job. Well, in fact, it creates jobs. It's jobs that we don't even know exist yet. So I
Yeah.
think that, yes, it might create or might take some jobs, but I think it's going to create a lot more than we realize. And we just, to be an early adopter, you have that way you can get on the bandwagon and be ahead of the curve and be in those jobs, because a lot of those jobs are going to be, I know that I've even government agencies, a friend of mine, they're starting a new government agency and or a office within this one particular government agency, and it's like they don't even, not that they don't know what they're doing, because they know what they're doing, but it's like everything is so new. So
Mhm.
when they're hiring people, they're like, well, I mean, if you know just a little bit of this, then that's good, because AI is so new. So yeah, I think that's really interesting. So, well, is there anything else that we haven't hit on before we wrap up this that you want to talk about that we should know, or any last minute things that you want to pitch for listeners?
Oh, pitch. I don't really. How about this?
Good.
For the people who are watching and listening, because they've hung out this long, if they want to copy the book, AI, Make Millions, Save Millions, Protect Millions, if they email info@vastsolutionsgroup.com, info@vastsolutionsgroup.com, give us their address, I will send them or my staff will send them a physical book. No, see it? This is that Amazon #1 bestseller. This is the real deal. ModernMillions.ai. They'll get a copy of the book, give us their address, and we'll send it while supplies last. We'll go ahead and give them a copy. So that's what I would say. There's no pitch. It's added value to help them hopefully take their business to the next level.
Well, who doesn't love free stuff? I'm going to be emailing you right now. All right. Thank you so much, Kenner French, for joining us with Vast Solutions. Again, I am Elaine Mingus, and we will talk to you later.
Bye, dudes.
If there's one takeaway from today, is this: AI isn't just a tool, it's a multiplier. The people who win will not be the ones who just consume information, but the ones who build the clearest systems, ask the best questions, but stay human while everything else accelerates.